Well, welcome back to the Lincoln Institute podcast. I'm Nick Vandenuenoff, the Executive Director of the Lincoln Institute. And today, very happy to have John McEntee, President and CEO of The Right Stuff.
We have The Right Stuff dating app. It's a dating app for conservatives. It's live in the App Store. It's free. Me and some of my co-founders created it after leaving the Trump administration. I worked in the Trump administration the first year and the last year as an aide to President Trump. It was an amazing experience. And when we left, we wanted to do something in tech that was a little different. Alternative tech was becoming popular. You see all the different Twitters and all of these things, but we wanted to do something different, so we did dating. It's hard to meet other conservatives, especially if you're in a place like California that's super left-wing overall. You know, there's a lot of pressure, and you don't want to say you're a Republican, and you have trouble meeting other Republicans, so this is a way to do that that's a lot easier and saves you a lot of time, money.
So what was your original pitch when starting The Right Stuff? And what was your, there's a lot of people that question alternative media as a question that, what was your pitch and how did you convince people to believe in what you're doing?
Our pitch was there's a dating app for almost every group. There's a dating app for Jewish people, black people, there's one for dog owners and music lovers, they're gamers, and
true.
Except there's not one for the identity most important to people, which is now in America political affiliation. You don't want to date somebody on the other side. That's probably a bad thing, but that's just how it is. And we thought we catered to this specific group. There's a big market for it, and that's just what we're honing in on.
So there's a saying that opposites attract. Do you not believe that then?
I don't believe that. I think in terms of the political divide in the country, if you want to actually have a serious relationship and have something that potentially could lead to a marriage or children, you want somebody that sees the world the same way. Opposites might attract where they might like Star Trek and you might like Star Wars, but I don't think it's they attract in terms of political beliefs, especially not now.
Yeah. What is your now thoughts on dating for Gen Z millennials in general?
I think dating has changed just overall. Our lives are more digital now. We live our lives on these mobile applications. Dating has gone digital. You do it on social media or dating apps. I think the organic ways are just really tough. I think, organizations like yourself might have a mixer or something to make it easy, but that's happening less and less overall in the country. I think as we've lost a sense of community in local areas, we've lost that. That's really unfortunate, but what we want to do is have that sense of community, but just have it online.
Who do you think has the harder time when it comes to dating? Men or women?
I know statistically it's men, but I do have to say I agree when girls say it's tough to find a guy. I think guys are lacking, and I see them make their profiles on The Right Stuff, and I think you got to just put in a little more effort. Come on, man, just give us a little more. Girls probably have too high of standards, but I also think guys can do a little bit better.
So you're saying my photo with the fish hanging, me after fishing, is not the one that will do it?
If there's one of those, that's fine. If all five are those, I think you got to switch it up a little bit.
Who do you think has a harder time dating, conservatives or liberals?
Who has a harder time dating? Well, I think conservatives overall have an easier time in the sense that they want to go out. We're not the lockdown people, and that they're not offended by everything. So they can celebrate any holiday, any party. They'll go out. They'll have fun. When you're with liberals, you kind of have to walk on eggshells. You're not allowed. You got to be careful what you say. That's not fun. No one wants to go out with people like that. I don't know what the divide is or like how it's split, but I would say conservatives have just as easy of a time, if not easier. Yeah.
Would you say there's a difference in your app and people that use your app here in the state of California compared to other states in the nation?
Well, we have our biggest network here in California, and I think that has to do with us being based here, but also on the fact that you want this in a place that feels hostile to you. You want to find your other conservatives. This might not be as popular in the middle of, Texas or Tennessee. It is popular in those places as well, but I think we need it more because we feel like we're in enemy territory and we need to stick together, and that's why we have the biggest user base in Southern California and then New York City and Washington, D.C., because conservatives just feel like they're surrounded by the enemy and they want to find their people.
Tell me about your kind of explosion on TikTok and your some of the viral content that you've made.
Basically, we go about our day and we find ways to make fun of liberals. We try not to be too divisive. We try to keep it light, like I mentioned. Danielle on our team comes up with all these amazing ideas, and then we go act them out and have a lot of fun. The content is endless because liberals provide us endless content. And I think anybody starting out on TikTok, like you guys mentioned, you're about to, kind of got to just get through those first cringe weeks and months of like posting and nobody liking it and being embarrassed. If you keep it up and you're, catering to a certain audience, you'll probably be successful.
If I was an investor here, what was your main pitch when you started The Right Stuff?
So actually, when I sat down with the investor, I said, I have a lot of different business ideas. And I gave him 5. And The Right Stuff, the dating app for conservatives, was the last one I mentioned. And when I mentioned it, his face sort of lit up, and he said, that's a brilliant idea. Dating apps are popular. This seems like an underserved market. So we just kind of sold it ourselves. Maybe because my other business ideas were so bad, it made that one stand out. We've seen it consistently grow. Our TikTok strategy is obviously working. We had 4,000 downloads in January. That doubled again in February. That doubled again in March. So we're seeing consistent growth. And I think, just providing a good experience. I think people that are on the current apps, either they're being scammed or they're using it as a way to just endlessly swipe. There's no, most of the Tinder and Bumbles now are kind of too saturated, and they're just trying to get money out of you, and everything's $49.99. And our app's totally free to use. The premium feature, which gets you 3 times as many likes, is only $9.99 a month. So we're the least expensive option, and I think the best experience, and everyone on our app is, conservative and dating with intention.
That's good. What would be your advice to young men in general when it comes to dating and getting out there?
Well, I would have to plug my dating app, The Right Stuff, since you're a conservative. And I would say when making your profile, do the best to show every part of your life.
Yeah.
Show a picture with your friends, show a picture with your family, show a picture of you doing something you like, whether it's hiking or going to an Angels game or the beach, because that's a good conversation starter. We also have prompts that you fill out, and you can do it in a funny, clever way, but they also can tell a lot about you. Yeah. So being fun with those will help. And then being active. Every girl likes a guy with a plan. So when you do meet up or you do get the match, make sure you have a plan and go from there.
How do you deal with the comments section, especially from people that like you, but also from liberal people that don't like you?
Luckily, a lot of the liberals, when they make fun of us, they do it in a lighthearted way as well. So we don't mind. And any of the hate we receive, we pretty much ignore it unless you're really being super aggressive, then we'll try to block you. But I don't really let it get to me. I think working in DC actually made me realize the hate's gonna come. I had a lot of media pieces saying really negative things. They're still on the internet about me. And I just realized to ignore it. So that's what I do with that.
Well, good. Yeah, I think, I think that's probably our biggest advice that we give to a lot of students that we help with the leadership stuff is just kind of keep moving forward and keep posting and keep doing
That's the best advice.
Recently in the news, they've been talking about banning TikTok. What's your thoughts on that? I know you've been kind of against it, but tell me your overall opinion and future of that.
I think it's totally ridiculous. And I'm not just saying that because we're on TikTok and we love it. If it got banned, that would be horrible, but we'd move on to the next thing and we'd figure out a way to market our app. That being said, I think TikTok, when you look at their privacy settings and their everything to do with their data collecting, it's the exact same on every other platform. Yeah. I don't think they're doing anything unique, and I think we gave that battle up a long time ago. In terms of China spying, I don't even know what they mean by that. If the Chinese know I like watching videos of a guy who makes things out of chocolate, so be it. I think banning it is ridiculous. I think it's Republicans throwing red meat to the base saying, we're going after big tech, when really this is big tech's competitor. Big tech is Silicon Valley, it's Facebook, it's Google. And this is somebody that's come in and created a really good product that's doing a lot better than these other platforms, and they're trying to shut it down too. Yeah, I think the whole thing is ridiculous. We'll see what happens. I saw Montana banned it. I don't know what'll happen with it. I hope it doesn't get banned because it's fun, but we'll see.
What would be your advice to young entrepreneurs that have a dream and a vision to do something big?
It would be to do your homework first. I recommend learning from a mentor and also reading. There's great books. You can learn a lot. How to Get Rich by Felix Dennis, 0 to 1 by Peter Thiel, and then another book called The Dip. Any of those, and then also just learning from the people around you. The second and most important is just getting started. You'll figure it out. If you have an idea, just go for it. If you have no money, you'll find the money. Just go for it. If you really believe in it, you'll be successful. Just don't stop. Obviously it's very difficult. It looks fun. We just make TikToks all day. It's great. It's so easy, It's not that easy. Elon Musk had a great tweet a few months ago. It said, we do this not because it is easy, but because we thought it would be easy.
That's a great quote.
Yeah.
We got to write that down somewhere. Well, cool. I think that's it. Thank you for coming by.
Thank you. Appreciate it.